Damn it! I know somebody's gonna call again. I don't. I think y'all be so busy. I'm so sorry that when I be trying to do my lives, I think I'm gonna start putting people on airplane mode or something like that. So when they call, they don't interrupt my live, right? So yo, it's so many different hot topics that's going on. I think I'm gonna attack this one first, right? And then I'm gonna post it, right? So yesterday, as I was looking on social media like everybody else, I had seen that Mariah the scientist had put Hazel E in her place, right? Now, you like, what's the point on that, right? It's some of these girls in the industry, however, it's some of the babies I like, and I always call them babies, and I feel some type of way because this old bitch was talking shit. You're like, what? Yeah. So now you have another older chick addressing another older chick, right? Now, what I don't understand about these delusional ass women, right? But this is the world that we live in. Mm. So regarding married men, niggas who are engaged, about to be married, however the fuck you want to put it, right? Um, because they were saying, oh, Mariah, the scientist, she's insecure about Hazel. Ain't nobody insecure about no motherfucking Hazel E. And I don't mean to be vulgar like that, right? And I had to say something because he like, yo, that made me mad a little bit, right? Because when you just have some women, because you just have some women that are just thirsty, even like thirsty, exactly. Because number one, she didn't have no fucking business dealing with fucking Blueface. That's one. And his mother actually made a good fucking point of view. And you're like, why? Because they have this big saying of you have a lot of older chicks who feel some type of way about the younger chicks, and then and I don't understand that because you have more of these old ass chicks who are going after these younger niggas, right? Now I feel like it need to be a motherfucking age limit. Only why I say that is because I'm a little older myself, and I feel like if I was to talk to a nigga that's in his 20s, you know, that's like me talking to my son. My son is in his 20s, right? So as a mother dealing with that aspect, and a bitch come in my house with my son that's 20 plus years older than him, I would feel some type of way. And that'll make me look at women who are actually dealing with these young ass niggas like that. Now I knew a lady that's all she liked. She liked it younger dudes, right? Now I always put that in effect. Is it because damn, I agree with you, Kevin Gates. You like why? Because you do have some younger women who are just they're just done. They're finito. So now they're targeting these younger dudes. And I always say that because the mindset and the way that they are, because I feel like sometimes when you have an older person dealing with some of these younger people, it can be like manipulation or however that it may be. Now on um because I got to give a shout out to these young dudes because they were saying, well, if you actually deal with the older lady, it's a lot of different because some of these older women, some of them, not all of them, because you do have some of these older chicks out here that they're ridiculous, their thoughts, their manipulation, because now they see that this little nigga, he got the bag, they want to chase after him, right? But you have some older women who are they're very house oriented, they already set within their motion, they're career driven, a lot of their priorities and the way that they're going to set up a lot of different boundaries, meaning it's just a little bit more that it just comes with me. I understand that part. But um, to be so thirsty and say that, and I'm happy that she checked her. I'm very, very happy that she checked her because she had to check her. Some of these women, especially if you engage, like, bitch, the whole world knew this. hmm hmm So it's a penalty, and I don't understand why some women don't respect that. Like, married men are off. I would never come up here and be like, "Yo, I agree with a whole bunch of women dating married men. I agree that it's okay, it's cool to do certain things, cause it's not. right? And for women to be like she's insecure, she's not insecure by far, right? And this is why I love when some guys, because you'll have some guys be like, "Go ahead, babe, you can check her. Go ahead and check her." Like you didn't really think that Thugger told her to check her, or however that it may be. Like he didn't give a fuck about that shit. He didn't. So she was just a clown, right? So I always say that. That's why for certain things, I'm not really commenting on certain things. Not like that. Yeah. So on that aspect, it was really, really, it was really weird. Now this is the second one I want to say. Cause the dude Adam, he's he's only getting crucified. Y'all know he's only getting crucified because he's white, right? He's only getting crucified because he's a white guy. Everybody just left. It's fine with me that you left. You like, why am I saying that? And I was trying to say this on my other podcast before. They're only saying something because he's the Caucasian guy. And I'm very, very against that. These motherfuckers is saying to beat him up, beat him up, beat him up. And I come here to say that the little shit that he was saying, I don't know too much about it, right? But Doja Cat, I always keep calling this bitch Doja. I was trying to call her Doodoo. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't. It's so fucked up. But she did change. If anybody have been following her career, you can tell right now that her career had changed, because when she first came into the game, she was like Public Enemy. She wasn't up there. She was looking like Alicia Keys. Remember how Alicia Keys first came out? Alicia Keys, all she wanted to do, she was wearing braids and shit. She was dressed in 3/4 and a whole bunch of other stuff. Now she went her whole career like that because of the little things that she was doing. But I keep calling this bitch Doja. Only why she did what she did was because it wasn't moving her momentum the way that it needed to be moved, right? Listen, and y'all think I'm lying? Go back and go watch all of her old videos, the way that she was coming. She changed once she got the Grammys. Hmm. What do you mean? Who? Why are you so? I'm not angry. Why would you say that I'm angry? I'm just coming on here speaking of facts. If you have a whole bunch of group of women, I'm going back to Hazel E and anybody else. If you have a whole bunch of women, right? Because she did the shit with Blueface. What are you talking about? The little nigga wasn't even home 30 days. And she was already on Blueface tail. She thought that she was going to bag and tag Blueface. But unfortunately, he didn't want to be bagged and tagged. I don't know why any woman like that anyway is going to be pressed like that for a nigga that's coming home from jail. Any nigga who have been up top 2 years and on, right? If he haven't already had a strong relationship before he got in, listen, if he didn't already have a strong relationship before he got in, why the fuck you think he gonna be faithful to you? He been behind the wall for 2 to 5 years. He haven't seen no pussy. He haven't seen no girls. The whole movement and the momentum of how fast these girls is. You got 12-year-olds that look like they 19. I ain't shooting no shot at Yeezy and Kanye West, but fucking North look like she can get the business. So when you have girls out here that's click click clacking, that you don't know that they motherfucking 15 years old because their body is out of control, what the fuck you think these niggas gonna do when they come home from prison? I'm just saying. So when Blueface came home from prison, Hazel Weed tried to bag him and tag him, and that's why his mother spazzed out on her. Ain't no 40-year-old bitch supposed to be talking to no nigga that's motherfucking 23, 25. I feel like something is wrong with you as just a woman. That mean that you can't get a nigga that's in your age bracket. You can't even pull a nigga that's 30 something years old. You got to go to a little nigga that speaks value. So she was baiting young bait. She was thirsty. And Mariah, the scientist, called her out. She was supposed to call her out. This little girl about to get married to this nigga. If you don't make an example out of one person, everybody else is going to think that that shit is cool. So no, I'm not angry. I just stick up for women like that. Because when I get married, you heard what I said? That's totally different. And bitch, you know I'm married. You know I'm about to marry this nigga. And you want to do some goofy shit like that. So you're going to get what you deserve. So I'm not married. I'm not mad. I'm just stating facts. That was a thirsty move. It didn't have anything to do with her being insecure about nothing. She's a very pretty young girl. And furthermore, she's a lot solid than a lot of these old bitches. You know how many old bitches would have left their nigga for dead in prison? They was looking, giving Thugger. They was trying to take this nigga away for a long time, away from his family, away from his kids. And that's why these goofy ass niggas was trying to get him to talk to a nigga, regardless of whatever the fuck they was trying to say that Young Thug did. He's never going to talk to that nigga. And if niggas don't understand that concept, because niggas never been locked up behind bars before. hmm Some of these bitches have never did a bid with a nigga a day in their life. So when you have a chick that's solid like that, she's gonna be very, very different. She's gonna be very, very protective. He's gonna be very, very protective. You seen what happened when some shit happened? He said, "Hold on, my boy. You need to slow down. There's nothing wrong with that." So I'm not angry. I'm just a lot woke, and I'm a lot common. So for her to say little girls, no, it's not. Bitches think because they got money, it's a bypass. It's not a bypass, especially when you're working in an industry. Let's be 100. Then smash and fucked all of these niggas. So now you become labeled. Just like the chick who posted that shit up with her and Offset and shit in the bed. Like you I never seen it so much. I never seen how pressed people are to tell that they're having sexual relationships with niggas. Or even niggas. Cause you got niggas, yeah, I did this. Like, yo, I never seen that. And that's the world that we living in. But niggas is okay with that. That shit is not okay. And, so I'll tell you like this, it's 2024. If niggas think that they're gonna be talking to their girls and they're gonna be doing all of this shit that they doing, I'm telling you like this, these bitches is thirsty. I done seen plenty of interviews where niggas is saying that niggas is getting extorted from bitches. So now they crossed over and now they're using babies. You like, what are you saying? They're using babies as price tags. They're entrapping nigga. They don't even like a nigga. They just like his motherfucking income. So they're doing a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm arguing. I'm arguing with my son because I'm making pizza and stuff like that. So he like, come get the pizza, come get the pizza. But I always get that though. Every time I come on here, I be starting to do a great live. But listen, I'm not a mean person. I'm a very understandable person. People are gonna get what they deserve. Whatever you put out there is what you're going to get. And this is what we're getting. I just messed up the whole thing because that was messed up when somebody said, "Why am I so angry?" I'm not angry. I'm just very aggressive person, and my messages be coming off very, very like crazy and stuff like that. But I don't mean it like that. But it's a very, very great stand. Women should not allow that. They should, especially if you married to a nigga. Nah, that nigga that asked you to be his wife, his forever home. Nah, women need to stand on business. You like, Angel, what's the difference? It's a totally difference between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. A boyfriend is a boyfriend. A girlfriend is just a girlfriend. She's not, you know what I mean? And you like, what? That bitch, no, it doesn't, no. Shit start becoming off limits. That's why I was saying off limits. Off limits is when that shit say Mr. and Mrs. Off limits is when we know that it's a little bit other than what it is. But only why that dude, the dude Adam and shit, he's only getting penalized because he's a white person. Because if he was a black person, they wouldn't be going so hard the way that they're going. But that's her fault. She made a song, a diss record towards him, or she was responding. So now this is what happens when you get people who are going to actually respond to you. People need to understand that shit, especially when you're dealing with a whole bunch of different people, right? So it's just a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff. She what she said was disrespectful. She said that this nigga like he's something from the back, but it's the truth. After she won the Grammy and shit like that, she just started becoming crazy. So nobody didn't tell me. So y'all didn't see how she had all that baby oil and shit. over her ass, and she trying to slide down the fucking slide and shit. She running across stage with jock straps and shit on. Like, yo, she was never like that. She was never like that at all. Go back and go see her shit. When she first started out, when she opened the fashion show over there in Paris, she came out with a Diana Ross wig with a thong on, running across the stage. She had to do that or she wasn't going to be fucking relevant. You like relevant what? She's a very good lyricist, but if you don't have the whole package, you're not sellable. You like what's sellable? Girls that come in the industry, you have to be sellable. What is sellable? Sex sells. Just like these niggas that's rapping. They gotta rap about what? Street activity. That's why them niggas was like, how the fuck can you say fuck the streets when you're gonna come back on here and you're gonna make a whole album talking about fuck your ops, fuck these bitches, and I like this shit, and I like robbing niggas, and I do this, this, that, and the third. It doesn't make sense. Especially you talking about fuck the streets or however. The fuck you gonna talk about? Like Bootsy said, fruits and vegetables and shit. Your whole fucking career is ran off of a whole different thing. Right? Is there any other artists out there like that? No, it's no Floetry, they were different. They were very, very different. But a singer can get away with a certain amount of things. Why the fuck you think that apple headed ass little girl is doing good? You like what? What the fuck? I'm talking about Tyler. That little girl. Right? Cause she has the image. Right? So since she has the image, she's pretty. I'm never gonna take that away from her. She's okay looking, right? So now what I'm gonna do? She's gonna sell the shit out of sex. That's the package. That's why these stupid ass niggas talking about all of these girls coming up here being thirsty. It's not thirsty. This shit is a business, and a lot of people don't understand that. Now you do have some girls who come on social media and they're catching. They're looking. They're looking to set up a trap. You like what? So yeah. So this is what you're having. This is what you're doing. But it's very, very different. Very, very weird. I'm gonna get off the title, get off of it. But I just wanted to say that Hazel was very. That was very, very embarrassing. Like I don't know who the fuck She's probably gonna have to date a Caucasian. I, I don't know. I don't know. But when you became so damaged, you like fuck. Yeah, you become fucking damaged. You become damaged goods. You become damaged goods in the hood. All of these girls and shit out here that be in all of these different neighborhoods and stuff. It goes like that too. Whole bunch of niggas and did this, that, and the third. Don't nobody want to deal with nobody who is going to come up as a topic of conversation. And the topic of conversation is how many niggas and had the opportunity to do a whole bunch of different things. That's why you have some of these niggas now that's like they're trying to go after different people that don't have a lot of different alliance to a whole bunch of different things. Yeah. So I was trying to say before my live cut off, this is just the moral of the story. Just regardless of whatever that you do, you be the creator of whatever the fuck that you're trying to do. You be the creator of your relationship. Because the way that the world is telling you, shit is crazy. Shit is just crazy. I heard this lady talking about she have her husband on a fucking routine and shit. Like she said, I run a crazy ass shift. I would never talk about my husband like that. Crazy ass shift, bitch. What the fuck is a shift? He can't do this. He can't do this. He can't do this. He can't do that. Like, what the fuck? So this shit is like a United States military and shit. And that should be the worst, too. That'll have a nigga run off, too. Like, this bitch is crazy. No. People be wanting people to change and adapt to their world. No, we have to adapt together. And a lot of people don't understand that. So you create your relationship. Your relationship is only going to be as powerful as you two motherfuckers created. Your standards, your respect, how far and where you want to go. Don't listen to that shit. Everybody can't do what everybody do. Some people just don't know how to do shit like that. Just like a nigga who don't know how to give sexual relationships, right? He don't know. Or she don't know, however. So what's going to happen? You're going to have to come together. You're going to have to talk about it, however that it may be, right? But now the way that it is, everybody wants to have fun, right? So if you have niggas that just want to have fun, then you let people go have motherfucking fun and find the fucking people who are ready to settle down. That's the biggest thing. You have group A, these niggas want to go around, they want to do this, they want to do that. You have group B, then you find the motherfucking people in this section that want to do that. You can't make a nigga or make a chick want to do some shit that she just don't want to do, or she can't. She's unable You have people who are just unable to do shit like that. So you can't penalize them because they're unable to perform the way that you want them to fucking perform. You can't get mad because an artist or however that it is that's going the way that is going want to do certain things at the way that they want to do. The only reason why people are getting penalized today is because they're not living in who they are. hmm Look at Dr. Brian. Dr. Brian was coming up here like this bitch was the house on the prairie. Like she was just a good old lady. Yeah. But now you got her running around with lace fronts. You got her going on TV and shit like that with two-piece bathing suits, and she doing all this whoop-de-whoop shit. And that shit is all coming up that she's a motherfucking side piece, her motherfucking self. All she had to do was come up there and just be her motherfucking self. All she had to do, you want to be a look. I come up here, I do whatever the fuck I want to do. I ain't never changed. I ain't buckle. I ain't do none of that. So I'm accepted for how I am because this is who I am. I'm not coming up here. I want to save the world. Like I do want to save the world, but I want them to walk in their truth and shit like that. But I'm not coming up here like all prestigious and shit. I'm just this, that, and the third. Nah, people like that scares me. I run when I see shit like that because it's just a little bit more to this bitch. There's always chicks that's like this. They get up here talking about this whoop de whoop shit, and they be discovered and shit. Cause she was exposed on the Shay Shay Club. She's been exposed many and 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 many a times. A lot of people they getting exposed. That's why I always say be careful when you want that motherfucker 5 to 10 minutes to fame, yo. That 5 to 10 minutes to fame could fuck a whole bunch of shit up, right? People don't know how to do, people don't know how to act, people don't know how to perform, people don't know what the fuck to do. So they just get up there and then all of a sudden, you know how hard it is? Yo, it's so hard to perform and act like you are something else. Eventually, who you are have to show. It's just, it had to happen like that. So that's why I get mad. Just like you had all of these motherfuckers who was coming on here and ate off the people. You like, what the fuck you mean ate off the people? So you think that shit that they be sending niggas on motherfucking TikToks with them hats and them stars and shit, that shit costs money. hmm They're giving their platforms and they're giving a whole bunch of shit the ability. When a nigga actually rock with you and they respect you and they share your stuff or however that it may be or however that it may go, they're interfering with the greatness and where you can go. So I don't really understand that too much when I see certain people do certain shit. Like I respected that shit when I see NBA YoungBoy when he seen a fan or however he just gave a nigga $100. You know what I mean? It's nothing. It's so easy to be very um what's the word, grateful or some shit like that. Don't mean that you gotta save the whole fucking world, but you just never know the person or however that you might run into. That's why I said be careful of the profession and the different shit that you want. A lot of people don't understand when it comes with that. That's why I kept saying when they kept saying, "Oh, everybody's going in on Carly B, everybody's going in on Nicki Minaj, everybody's going in on certain people." No, 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 no. This shit comes with your fucking profession. So you are going to be penalized and you are going to be put on a fucking cross like Jesus Christ, right? So this is what you want to do, right? So I would just advise a whole bunch of other people to just be very, very mindful in the different shit that you want to do. Yeah. So let me go. I just wanted to say that because my mic went off earlier, and I just wanted to talk about that because they like talking about people insecurities. Like I'm gonna say this right. Because it doesn't really matter what happened or what takes place, right? And I want girls to understand this because some girls don't understand this. No matter what the fuck is going on or how it might look regarding you and your boyfriend or your friend, as long as you know that y'all have a very, very good understanding and that he loves you and that he respects you and that he keeps you in his heart or however that it may be, do not worry about all the other shit that's going on, right? Because it's just crazy when you allow a motherfucker to convince you that motherfucker don't care and he don't love you and he don't respect you. And that's why a lot of niggas cheat or people be in a vulnerability where they can be able to agree with some shit knowing that they have no fucking business agreeing to. Right? So yes, people need to check their own fucking personal shit because you do have people who do that. You have people who will try to throw salt and shit on some shit just to see how gullible you are if you're gonna take the bait, right? Niggas need to stop jumping off the porch, right? Because people want people to walk away from their position. I'm just saying, and I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna talk about Mariah the scientist, right? However that it may go, or anybody that's in her position, right? A lot of women were crucified, a whole bunch of different women, however that it may go, right? Right? But you have a lot of women who want your spot, right? So you have to be careful when you are dealing with a whole bunch of different things, however that it might go, right? So I always say that's why you have to work on communication. For communication is the key. And people have to believe and understand what the fuck they partner telling them, right? I always say that shit. I don't believe, you gotta say, I don't believe shit. I don't believe shit. You like, what? I don't believe shit. If this nigga didn't tell me, you know what I mean? He not fucking with me. He don't love me. This is that. However that it might go. However that it might go. Then I don't give a fuck. And people don't look at that like that. They be convinced about what's happening, what's going on. Understand who you are. Understand who you are in a relationship. Understand the bullshit that's going on. You know, and that's fucked up. I hope nobody don't fuck that white boy up. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like that. They just mad. That's what happens when some streamers, some influencers, some podcasters, some people have the ability to affect the masses. What that white boy doing, he just got the power to affect the masses. What the fuck do I mean by that? Affect the masses is by what I say out of my mouth, what I share, and how I can impact and change somebody's way, the way that they are thinking. Mm-hmm. For the way that some people are thinking, and if you can attract and you can penetrate, say if you could penetrate 100 people, fuck, then you could penetrate 1,000 people, fuck, then you could penetrate 1 million people. So that means niggas just lost $1 million worth of stream, $1 million of profit, right? And that's how it is, and a lot of people don't understand that, right? So he have the power to make somebody fall back. But I always say that shit, look at it. Mm-hmm. Because I was seeing her career, that's why I can say that. An industry plan, of course, really, really, of course. Now you say, what is an industry plan, or however that it may be? Mm-hmm. An industry plant like that is a person that can affect the way that the younger generation um, might look at things. People who can cause more destruction, people who can overthrow and take somebody's shit. Right? I always say that. I look at it. Why? I always say this, Don, since we're talking about it. Everybody else got Grammys except Nicki Minaj. Why is that? I always say that. Mm. Is it because her ignorance? Or is it because she didn't hold up the oath? Which everybody knows the oath, right? Or is it because blackball, or however that it may be, right? Because she have impacted in her music, however that the fuck the people want to say, a lot better, right? But I always say that. For when you get a Grammy, then the prices go up, a whole bunch of different things go up, a whole bunch of people start changing, and people start touching a whole bunch of different things like that. Mm. But Doja, I'll keep saying that bitch name wrong. She had to change. Mm. So she's gonna keep running around being half naked. She's gonna do, all of them do that shit. That's part of their package. What really successful rapper like that you know have actually been successful like that without being the way that they are? Because you have a lot of good rappers who are very, very good, but because they refuse to perform and to package their image like that, is the way that their numbers and the way that they're being treated, right? Right? I should start a petition. Protect that nigga Abraham, whoever that he is.
Pizza delivery.
Thank you, baby. You want to say hi to the millions of people?
No.
He said no. Yeah. So people are crazy. I was gonna say, I was thinking. I'm gonna say this. Have you ever wondered? I'm just saying. Why is it? I'm thinking this morning. Why is it hard sometimes for people to actually say how they really truly feel? It's because of they don't want to be seen as being weak. as intimidated. They don't want to be seen like, damn, this person have won. But I always like to think about that shit sometimes. Why is it so hard for people to actually say how they feel and go about it? hmm I was just thinking about that today. hmm I give so much good advice, but I can't get whatever the fuck I'm looking for. I don't know where that came from. Maybe somebody was thinking that. Yeah, shit should definitely be off limits. Even me, I gotta find out how to keep shit off, like limited. I try. Well, I do a little bit, but dealing with a whole bunch of different things. Certain shit shouldn't be said. Certain shit shouldn't be shown. Certain shit shouldn't be talked about. hmm Shit should just be um a non-topic, and people don't do that. I always want to say that's why I don't really talk too much, because I always said when I came on here I didn't want to be like a petty ass like blogger, YouTuber, podcast and shit like that, because I'll be looking at other people's sets and they're like really really crazy. They don't care, but that's how people build up who they are. hmm I'd rather have more people respect me because the way that I go about it, instead of saying I don't like that bitch, you know. And people do that, so they create a whole thing about people's fucked up ass life now. Yo, that nigga 50 Cent is funny. He's so funny. I'm sorry, you probably hear me eating. That shit with Carisha Fields is funny. And Layla Ali, she's funny as hell too. I told people, people didn't believe me. They're like, well, Papoose and them fixed her ass up. Because she was looking crazy. I don't give a fuck what she said. She was looking very, very crazy. And I always say, there's nothing wrong with a woman saying that. Because now she's fixing, she's looking like a champ. It's just her mouth getting her in trouble. I'm the heavyweight champ of the world. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not doing none of that. And like what? Nah, because she be on YouTube, she be arguing with motherfuckers, she be on Twitter, she be going in. Like, yo, you are the heavyweight champion of the world. You supposed to set an example for a whole bunch of other different women. Now, what I can say is the length of her being bullied and body shamed and talked about has really, 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 really been crazy. It really is, but that comes with the territory. Because sometimes I go through a whole bunch of different shit, but I don't be caring about none of that. But 50 Cent is a damn fool. He is. He better worried about P Diddy when P Diddy come home. And this message go out to them boys. And like what? The boys, they need to sit the fuck down. You're like, why? Because I heard that they trying to create a documentary regarding their dad, but I think that their dad need to do it. Now, if they wanted to be spicy, I would create like a podcast, and then as I'm introducing, I'm talking about the podcast, then have like P Diddy come. But you can't do a documentary regarding or revolving around P Diddy like that until he come home. That's why I was saying to Netflix that it was a very very bad business deal. Like, it was a very very. I still haven't watched it because I don't want to watch it. I don't, because I feel like I know a whole bunch of different shit about the industry, about the music business, about Hollywood, and about a whole bunch of different things. And if people at this particular time at 2026 don't understand whatever the fuck that it is, then you are very, very lost. And you're like, what are you saying? Because you had people who would do whatever that the fuck that it may be to be famous, to be rich. You have parents that would sell out their fucking kids, do a whole bunch of different shits to their kids because of the money and because of the fame. A lot of people don't understand that part, right? So if a person is promising me whatever that it is, then I'm going to do everything that needs to be done. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know what's going on with Young Miami and P Diddy. However it may be, that shit might be real, real, real quiet. Hmm. Hmm. Other than her having that little interview with Saucy, with him and whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. It's very, very messed up when people go through the bad timing or they're in a slump and then people leave you for dead. That's the worst fucking feeling ever. People leave you for dead because they think that you're finished. They think that you're done, or they don't want to talk to you because now you become, which is true, bad for business, spoil blood and shit like that. But people don't be understanding people's end game, and I always say that. For he still have an end game. Hmm. So the Combs boys, if you hear this, so I'm gonna share this in my Twitter. Y'all niggas don't need to create no documentary, because when he come home, he's gonna get paid out the ass. You like what? Because the world still gonna want to hear his story. So if his sons try to do a bootleg ass beat around the bush, however that it may be, then they're gonna fuck up the bread. They're gonna fuck up the real true story. Because I'm interested. That's crazy because now I want to hear his part, because he has so many different people who turned away from him. So many different people who they did this, they did that, and a whole bunch of different things. Mhm. Mhm. So it is what it is. You get in life whatever you put out. I always say that. So what you won't do, you'll be surprised. It's like 15 other different people who's gonna want to do it, and that's the real truth of it. People are gonna sell out. People are gonna do a whole bunch of different things. What's so crazy now is that a whole bunch of different people who have became famous or they have paid their weave out. That's what be happening just in life in general. People should know who to have and who not to have, right? Because when you get in these crazy ass, tricky ass situations, you don't want to have 100 people who don't like you, who don't know you, who don't give a fuck. They're only looking at you for money, compared to the other 15, 100 people who actually really give a fuck about you, and they don't think that. So now they're stuck in their big ass houses. They're stuck doing this, that, around a whole bunch of niggas who just don't like them. They only just there for one reason, and that's what happens. The limits, set your limits, set your boundaries, and just go about your daily life. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, I blacked out. I did. I said, "That's right, Mariah the scientist. You tell that bitch to fuck off. Not underneath this post. You won't be doing all of this shit." Like, cause that shit look bad weird. She's never. I don't know. You know what, Hazel E? You like what? She should have stayed with Cat Williams. Okay, I'm about to tell you something. I'm about to say something. She should have stayed with Cat Williams, right? For I don't really know how much crazy shit went on with them, but people be already having partners or however that it may be. People shit be already. Listen to what I'm saying. Shit already be designed for people, but because people they don't know, so they fuck it up, or they don't know and they think that going over here to a better house, meaning over here I think that the house is a lot greener over here, and it don't never be greener over there. You're not gonna get that motion. You're not gonna get that output and shit like that. So then you have a whole bunch of different people. They're playing Monopoly. They're building all these fucking houses, and they jumping from different house to house to see if they're gonna have that. Hmm. And some will never get that shit again. Right? So then they become on a mission to fuck up other people, other shit. Hmm. Hmm. What's so crazy to me about that whole shit, that girl who did that shit with Offset and shit like that, that's crazy. He's not even with Carly B. Carly B's not even with him, but you still have to prove a point. I'm just saying. He's like, what? I always listen. As bad, that shit'd be so crazy. You like what? If these two niggas was to get together, it's so much shit, it's so much dirt, so much shit that have happened, It would really have to cause Jesus Christ to come down the fuck back from out of heaven down here to Jerusalem to fix all of that shit. But even still, after that shit, they would still crash a web. It would get the fuck out of here. Even if they was to do some music, that shit would go crazy. Because the world would never expect it. They'd be like, get the fuck out of here. It'd be the talk. It'll go super, super viral. hmm I just really hate that she really chose that nigga. You was talking to me, bitch. You like, you was talking to me. It's Carly. You was talking to me when you said, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? You want me to put the baby back in? Bitch. If I had the ability to put it back in, I'll put it back in so fast. So fast. I never really followed their story. I never really counted how many kids this nigga Offset had. Never really counted if he had a whole bunch of different pregnant and shit like that. I know they always talked about the scandals and shit, but like, what the fuck? Carly B, like, that's petty. I was about to say, God damn. Carly, don't marry him. You're like, well, fuck out of here. Do not marry him. He's like, bitch, tell Carly B. Somebody need to tell Carly B. Do not marry fucking Stephon Diggs. He got too many fucking kids. All of these bitches is about to put him on child support. Then nobody gets your fucking money. You like what? Nah. Absolutely not. Yo, everybody about to start tagging him. And that's what a lot of women don't know, however that'll be. Now he could set it up the way that it's going to be, but that shit's crazy. That shit's weird. And I finally got to watch the New England Patriot game, and they were really good. Now I don't see why they hating. They good. They really, really good. They're really good. They're really good, and I see why. And then, he was playing all right. I could see how he can be a little off, to the left. Damn. Damn, that's fucked up. You know why I said that? Because when that shit really come out, that bitch, that chef really had this nigga baby, could you only imagine the shit that's gonna go on? I'm just saying. That's crazy. That's why people really have to be careful of the shit that they do in the dark. That's why they always say, it doesn't matter what you do in the dark, only in a matter of time. It only can take but a second for somebody to go dig up your skeletons. And I said that because they were running around showcasing to the world how they were how they were so happy and this, that, and the third. And then that's when you have bitches like that or situations. Oh, this nigga lying. I'm pregnant and shit. This nigga lying. He was right here. Like the bust people bubbles. That's why you gotta be careful. Well, people shouldn't be on no fuck shit like that. It shouldn't be, especially if you with somebody like that. You should have a common sense about certain things. Damn, that's crazy. That's really crazy. Like the whole fucking world got to go around sending them what's them damn contracts, them NRAs or some shit. And like nothing that motherfuckers do is like it's just like damn, nobody don't got no motherfucking common sense. That's scary. You're like, yo. And who the fuck was that girl? Natalie something? Natalie from Baddies? Hoops was so upset. You like what? Cause Shaquille O'Neal was dealing with Hoops. But Natalie took her ass on the show and told the whole world that Shaquille O'Neal bought her a car. Why? You didn't even have to say that shit. That's just like the bitch from the other Love and Hip Hop of Los Angeles. She said that she was dealing with Shaquille O'Neal too, and I was like so flabbergasted. I'm like, God damn. Damn. You're like, what? Like nothing's just a secret? Like what the fuck was like that's crazy. Bitch, guess what? You ain't never getting nothing from no nigga. You like what? You gotta understand that. Especially however that it was, you ain't never getting shit. I always think like a dude. Like I can only imagine Shaquille O'Neal's face. I can only imagine Shawnee's face, his ex-wife, because she gave him that nigga like 5, 6 kids, however that it may be, and she went through a whole bunch, even the shit where how it got messed up and he was doing this, that, and the third. But I always say that sometimes. especially for these niggas. You like, why? Because if you're a basketball player, you're an NFL or however that it may be, and you don't kind of like have a very, very good like foundation, meaning that you are really a faithful man and you are really dedicated to your lady, and you met them like through college or however that it may be, and you understand that your title, who you are, bring a whole bunch of bitches because of your fame, and they don't understand that, they throw their shit away. Like they throw it away for a bitch that just want to just say that she fucked you, or a bitch that's just so satisfied at getting money in the bag. That's crazy. That's but it's the truth. So she went up there and told everybody that Shaquille O'Neal bought her a car. Mm-mm-mm. And then she wanted me talking all that other stuff. They threw it up though. They threw up the sorry Illuminati, but they threw up the Illuminati at the end. And a picture of her and Cam Newton throwing up the pyramid. That was the tag. So how much was he doing? She went on the show and she did what she was supposed to do. He went on the show and he did what he was supposed to do. That's why when he was trying to throw up the bastard sign to the other black brother, he looked at him like, nigga, I'm not throwing that shit up. You have to understand that some people are Satanist worshipers, cult worshipers, and shit like that, and some people are not. But go look. Y'all think I'm lying? Go look at that shit. I seen that shit today. I seen them two throwing that shit up. I was like, oh shit. And thank you, Uncle Luke. I commented on Uncle Luke page from Miami. He said that the bitch sound like a pimp, which she did, because she said all of my bitches get paid. I make sure they get paid. I'm gonna make sure they do this. I'm gonna make sure they do that. That's pimp. hmm There's no way in fuck. Like what? But she's producing something that the world want to see. What do the world want to see? The world want to see chaos. Most importantly, the world also want to see black women degrading themselves, fighting, you know what I mean? Being very, very, very ugly and shit like that. And that's what the world is seeing. hmm Just like now today, like before when we was growing up, you really didn't see a lot of same on sex like activities on TV. Now when you're watching TV, that's all you see. You can't sit through one show without seeing that, or sit through one episode without seeing that. So the force of putting a new image on the masses is at its ultimate high. And I don't understand what's going on with Donald Trump. You're like, what the fuck? These niggas went to over there and they got the president and his wife. hmm But dealing with a whole bunch of certain things, it takes niggas forever to figure some shit out. hmm So it's a whole gap with that. I'm definitely gonna be following that story because I want to know like who's gonna be the next president. I want to know how the country is going because I actually spoke to a guy who was actually from Venezuela. I think I'm saying that wrong, and he was saying how the country was really really like out of control and stuff like that. So I'm very very curious. In the United States of America, they're playing a very very dangerous game, and I hate to say that shit because when you have a president that can easily fly into another fucking country, easily go capture the fucking president and his wife, what is that saying to the other countries? That's like, yo, they out of control. Hi. Hi, how are you? I'm saying hi. Hi, how are you? Who's on here? I keep saying that. I keep hearing that. Somebody, I want to buy you a drink. Somebody want to buy somebody a drink. I'm going to take you home with me. He got money in the bank. Somebody be listening to that. Somebody want to take somebody home. I don't know why I keep hearing that, but I keep hearing that shit in my head. But yeah, that's what President Trump making it seem like the other allies and other countries like, yo, we just gonna do whatever that we want to do, right? So it don't put like a borderline of a lot of different things. So it's letting other people in other countries know, like, well, we don't have no say. We really don't have no control over a whole bunch of different things. If somebody is so easily able, however that it may go, and that's how you bring a lot of problems and stuff. I'm wondering what their allies are saying about that. Mm. Yeah, I need to look into that. I'm very interested in that. Hmm. So, is there anything else that I want to say that I seen or I heard? Nah. This world is lost. I can't say nothing else. I cannot say anything else. Right? So that's why it always say people need to be careful of what they see because what you see go in your spirit. People need to be careful of what you hear because once you hear it, you can't unhear some shit that you just heard. Right? The agenda of pushing the agenda is at its ultimate high, and everybody play a part in it. Either you know it or you don't know it, right? But the people who know it are the people who are making shit aware of it. Um, I just want to know is Doji, whatever fuck her name is, she's just morally mad because they saying fuck Doji, fuck Doji. Fuck Doji. It's not funny, but let's be real. Get off that Caucasian man. Stop it. And I can't believe Joe Button with his funny ass looking ass is telling the cuz, no cuz, y'all don't do that shit. Do not do that shit. You like what? Cause that nigga's a coward. You like why is he a coward? Cause now you telling the Crips, the dude who from LA, which is a gangbanger, a Crip, you telling him to get all the homies to go over there to beat that nigga up. Shut your punk ass up. You go over there if it's so detrimental to you, nigga. You go over there and you go punch him in his face. Don't be telling the homies to go jump out of the window for your clown looking ass. You ain't even built like that, and you talking about that shit. Now they talking about all of this shit about podcasts. I've been talking about podcasts for the last past 7 to 8, 9 years ago. Where the fuck you think podcast came from? Podcast came from a person who was talking about it who really didn't really have the funds and shit to make that shit clickbait the way that it was. You talking about drink champs and shit. It's just unfortunately, Nori is a rapper, and Nori has a great A-lister of different niggas who he have talked to within the game, who he has a good relationship, however the fuck that you want to put it, that's gonna come over there and what they gonna do, right? That's why he do that shit to them niggas. You like what? Get them drunk and high. A nigga that's drunk and high has a very, 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 very loose tongue. I'd seen that shit on the Comb show with Forio Foreign nigga. That nigga was so drunk, however, that nigga started telling every fucking thing. Niggas is like that. Niggas get drunk, they get loose, they start telling shit. That's his job, dummy. So podcast been around for a very long time. Why you think a whole bunch? Let me tell you something, and pay attention to this shit. Right? I don't care. I'ma take the fucking credit. You like take the credit? I am. Look at it. It's so many other different fucking YouTubers that who are celebrities or however that it was, right? Because look at it. Everybody was all playing Instagram. Very, very tough. Very, very tough. Everybody was playing TikTok, however, very, very tough. But because of the momentum of the YouTube community, people that's on YouTube, that's why everybody's starting to come back on YouTube. Look at it. You got mad celebrities coming back to YouTube, making motherfucking videos and shit like that. Niggas is following the algorithm. They following the recipe and shit. So they talking about what's better and better. And they're talking about Gilly and that other shit. Because the white girl, whoever the fuck she is, she's on a podcast now with Joe Button. But she was on Gilly and them shit. So apparently it was something or however that it was. Or maybe, she just wasn't fit for whatever their movement was. People have the right to feel like they no longer want to fuck with people. Right? Because you don't fit whatever that we're going. Or maybe she just wasn't the way that they needed her to be. But everybody's doing podcasts. Fucking Kiki Palmer and shit. She doing a podcast. It's so crazy, so stuff like that. And with a lot of podcasts, I'm not helping you, stupid motherfuckers. You keep going, cause they don't know what they doing. You're like, what? They don't. You have some who talk very, very good. You have some who are very, very good at what they do. But you have a lot of people who are using their podcasts and their platforms to discredit and disgrace our own fucking class, right? And I have to be very, very careful sometimes because I love when that guy Corey, he's funny as hell though. I like him though. He's so comical. But which is so good because if I'm out in public with my boyfriend or however that it may be, and it might be somebody else, I don't even know who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Nobody should be like, oh, hey, or however that it may be. Like, it's just a respect thing, right? If I'm outside with my husband, I'm with something like that. We might have be friends or however that it may be. First and foremost, I'm gonna first address him like, this is my husband, this is my boyfriend, da 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 da, and then we go on forward. Where he was saying that a lot of women be acting very, very differently, and this is that and the third. But I love that he stuck up for the coach in Michigan, because the University of Michigan fired his ass because he was in an entanglement. But it was just a little bit more to the story, and they wanted the whole world and the whole black other people, however the fuck you want to put it. They wanted the world to tear him down. And I always look at Ponzi's. I call that shit like a Ponzi scam or whatever. Like them sex scandals and shit like that. Them shits the story don't be written off right. Cause I always say it's three sides to a story. You got this bitch talking about he's crazy, he's doing this, that, and the third. But you have his story, you have the unknown story, you got the story. Because you have some women who are very, very treacherous. They do the worst shit ever. And don't put a nigga that's in high status, or he has a very, very great job, and all of a sudden you just hooked up with this bitch from Boomerang, however the fuck you want to call it, and this bitch is straight cuckoo for Cocoa Pop, right? But you didn't know that. And now you no longer want to deal with her. And that's what happens. When somebody have been with somebody, they have been dealing with somebody, they have been sleeping with somebody for a very, very long time. And they know already off the rip, you're not even supposed to be laying in my bed. I'm not even supposed to be chilling with you, nigga. Right? But you talking about you don't want to fuck with me no more? Okay. And you work where? You do what? You heard what I said? And that's what be happening to some of these dudes. Yeah, it's messed up. They ain't never had no business even fucking with that nigga. They didn't have no business fucking with that girl. But that's the shit that happened. So when I seen that black man in Michigan, I was hearing that story. I was saying that it was just a little bit other to the fucking story that the media is putting out, right? Because that's crazy. That's like the ultimate, like, messed up shit. Why the fuck? But that's what people do. They give people the power and the authority to mess up some shit that they have created, and it's not cool. Especially when you marry, and they say that nigga was married with kids too. Like, oh my God. I can only imagine his face coming in the door telling his wife that shit. And people don't think that. Everybody like that wetness. Everybody like that motion. Everybody like doing what they be doing until the motherfucking hammer fall down. And do you gotta come home and tell your wife that you just lost a 6-figure fucking deal because you was a whore, right? Or not even that you was a whore. You just didn't know how to be a good whore. You're like, bitch, I don't know, man. I need to school these people and shit. I don't know, but it's protocols in a certain way and certain things, you know, that you do to, especially when you're married or however, it's certain things that you have to do. hmm Especially when you got a good one, a real one, or however that it may be. You ain't never supposed to let you ain't never supposed to let nobody fuck up your world, like, and people don't understand that. So people get, they get what they get, and they think that is funny until they ask us like them couple that was on a fucking kissing camera and shit. It wasn't that crazy. That was like the ultimate karma. Out of all the days that they was fucking around and doing all this other shit, they take their ass. But I'm just saying, you had a fucking game anyway. You know you creeping or however that it may be. Why the fuck would you get up there and be huggy and shit like that anyway? Knowing that 9 or 10 fucking kissing camera or whatever the fuck gonna come, or whoever, you gonna see you like that. So unfortunately, on this day, they was doing what they doing, and apparently they was looking, because that's what happened. They were looking to the eye like they were a very, very happy, good, cozy family. They was such in a good fucking zone, and he loves her and she loves him, not knowing that they both had. That's crazy. So let me go. I had enough of this. Okay, bye bye. You like bye bye.